These four things helped me get out of my soul-sucking 9 to 5 job. I'm going to share those with you in this video. Now, disclaimer, it was more than just four things that I did, but these are the core four steps that I took that was able to get me out of the rat race, out of my own way, and into a situation where I wasn't flying 100,000 miles per year on airplanes, missing my young son grow up, being away from my family, being away from my wife, having to answer to somebody else, working on vacation, all the things that those of us who have corporate careers, who have been in corporate for a long time, you all go through this. So I'm going to share these four steps with you right now. I tried 26 different side hustles over my 25-year career. None of them worked. Not a single one of them worked. And it had nothing to do with the side hustle itself. It was my commitment to the side hustle. So the first thing that I did was I decided on one business. I could have absolutely crushed all 26 of those other side hustles, no doubt. It was my inability to focus, my inability to stick with it for long enough to actually give it a chance and to really try. I thought that I needed to be doing 2 or 3 different side hustles at one time. And sometimes I was doing 5 side hustles at one time. And that's just a recipe to get nowhere fast, like really fast. If you think about focus, if you think about multitasking, it's something that you shouldn't really be proud of being good at or saying that you're good at. If I focus on one thing, all of my energy on one thing, I have a very, very, very good chance of completing that thing, and given enough runway, I'm definitely going to complete that thing. I'm going to do it very, very well. But if I divide 100% of my time into 5 different things, I'm only giving each thing, side hustle, 20% of my energy. There's no way that those 5 side hustles combined all up together are going to, you could take those 5 could be the best possible businesses, the most successful businesses that you could start. Like if you were to rank them, and you could take probably like middle of the road or a really crappy business as the one thing you're focused on. And I guarantee you, you would beat the other 5 businesses out, or the person that's trying to multitask all 5 of those businesses. Focusing, picking one thing, and going all in on one thing was just huge for me. And that's why I was able to see results. So pick one business, drop all the other stuff. I realize you think that you could make them all work, and it's fun for you to look at 3 or 4 or 5 different things at one time, but you got to stay with one thing. So pick one business, go all in on it. The second thing that I did was I said, okay, look, I need to figure out how to do this one particular thing. Now, my business at the time was real estate. I chose real estate, and I decided that I'm not going to go at this alone because I've dabbled in it and I've tried to go at it alone. It wasn't really working for me. So I got a coach, I had a system, and I joined a mastermind group. So I had somebody to teach me the thing that I wanted to do. They had a system. They also had a group of people that were doing it. So we're doing it together in a group, which is huge for accountability and support. So this way I could go to the coaches and the group for help and support. And I cut down my learning curve dramatically when I don't do it by myself, when I have a group of people around me. So that was the second thing I did. Find somebody who's done it. Like, this is a great life hack for anything. If you want to learn how to do something, find somebody who's really, really good at it, if not the best, and do exactly what they do. Like, this is the life hack for anything that you're doing. There's no reason to spend months and months and months learning something on your own when you can just learn it in half the time or a quarter or a third of the time simply by paying somebody else to do it. Or maybe you could get them to mentor you. But doing it on your own, learning it on your own, usually leads to one of 2 things. Number one, you're going to learn incorrectly, right? Or you're going to spend so much time learning that you're just going to give up. And that's what happened to me. Is I would look at these different businesses, these different side hustles. I would spend all this time watching YouTube videos, listening to podcasts, reading the books, and then I would just kind of burn out. It's like, man, I'm not interested in doing this anymore. And I wasn't taking action. Whereas when you walk into a community or a mastermind group or a coach, it's like you're taking action from day one, right? Do this, do this, do these 5 things, do these 10 things, which leads me to the third thing. Number 3 that I did was I followed the proven system. So if this particular system, the real estate system, now they had more than 10 steps, but for the purposes of this explanation, of this example, let's just say they have 10 total steps and you will be successful. Like I did these 10 things and I was able to be successful in real estate. Or I did these 10 things and I was able to, lose 20 pounds and get in good shape. Or I did these 10 things and I was able to launch my online business, right? And finally be successful. I did all 10 of them. I didn't do 6 of them. I didn't do 7 of them. I did every single one of them and I did not question it. And I can tell you that that is one of the differentiators when you have a group of people who are all taught the same thing. So if there's 100 people in a group and they are all taught the same exact thing and they said they have the access to the same exact information, why is it that 10 people really, really excel? And then you have a bunch of people who are kind of middle of the road and they're not really, they're doing some deals or maybe 0 deals. And then you have people at the bottom part of the group that don't do anything. They don't do any deals. It's because they are not doing the 10 steps. They're doing 1 or 5 or 0 or 7 or even 9. The people who were at the top 10 were doing all 10. And I was one of the ones that did all of the steps and I didn't question any of it. So you have to follow the system. There's a reason that you go through the steps of deciding on one business, finding a group, a mentor, a coach, a mastermind that can help you that has a proven system. And if you don't follow the system, it's like you just wasted your time and your money because you didn't do what they told you to do. I see this all the time in all walks of life and all masterminds. I've been in masterminds, I've run them, I have my own. And it doesn't matter if it's free, and it doesn't matter if people are paying $100,000 to be in the mastermind group or to be in a coaching program. You will have those people who will be in the top 10, top 10%, or whatever it is, or top 10 of 100, middle of the road, and people who do nothing. I would say it baffles me, but it doesn't because I continue to see it and it will always be that way. People come in with egos. This was me too. I came in with a huge ego in pretty much every side hustle that I looked at. It's like, number one, I didn't think I needed any help. I didn't think that I needed to listen to anybody else. And when I finally checked my ego at the door and got out of my own way and realized like, hey, dude, you're the problem. And all of these 26 side hustles that didn't work, that I blamed the side hustle on, or I blamed everybody else on, I was like, okay, what's the one constant in all 26 of these side hustles? It was me. So I was the problem, not the side hustle. Like franchising works, which I looked at, blogging works, real estate works if you stick with it and do it the right way and get somebody to help you. It all works. And if you commit as well, which I wasn't doing, I was doing 3 or 4 at a time, not one. The fourth thing I did, the last thing that I did, which is really the most important thing, if I have to rank them, is I stayed the course. And what I mean by that is I didn't give up. I didn't quit. I came in with the mindset of, look, I've been trying to get into business. I've been trying to get out of my job for so long. I don't even know how long it's been. It was 15 plus years. And my mistake in all 26 of those side hustles, I never gave it a chance. I never gave it any time. I did one for a month, 3 months, maybe 6 months might have been the longest, but I never really gave anything a real go at it, a real opportunity. And I can tell you that, and I'm being real here because, and a lot of you will get scared off by this, is that it takes years, man. I'm talking not 1 year, not 2 years, not 3 years. It takes years for you to really start getting good at business. And when you start to think about the stuff that you're good at, the stuff that you're good at right now whether it's, you're good at sales, you're in your job, or you're good at marketing, or you're good at financial services. It's like this takes a lifetime to really craft. Like, you go to school for it, you work a job in it, and you learn, and you're constantly getting better and better. Too many people, and this is a problem that you watch ads and you're looking at social media and you're seeing all this, like how fast you can make money, and it's just putting you in the wrong position from day one, which is you're not going to make any money in the beginning. You should have low expectations. I worked leads for 4 straight months in my real estate business before I pivoted to coaching 100%. I worked leads for 4 straight months. I didn't make a single dime. And in all of the other side hustles that I had tried, like, I would have already given up. Like, I've tried this, I'm not making any money, I'm not seeing any progress. The differentiator was that when I went into this group and I invested a lot of money and I invested my time and my energy, and I was at the point where, okay, I've got to make something work, because what I've been doing for the last 15, 20 years has not worked at all. I've tried 26, they all failed. And it wasn't the side hustle that failed. It had nothing to do with the side hustle. It was me. So I'm like, I got to do something different. And I have to give myself some time here. And the 4 months went by pretty quickly. And the first check that I got was, I remember it because I still have it. I have it saved in my phone. It was $7,500, and I didn't get to keep all that. I had to split that. So, not a lot of money for me. And over 4 months, that's not going to retire me over 4 months. But then the next check was larger. The one after that was bigger. The one after that was bigger. And it was just because I stayed the course. I kept following the system, like doing all 10 of the steps and giving it a realistic timeline. So that's why, after trying on my own, looking at 3 to 4 different side hustles at the same time, sometimes five, doing it all on my own, not getting in the right room. I was in the wrong room. I was talking to the wrong people. I was asking the wrong questions. After all of that, I was finally able to get into a situation where I was winning. I was creating momentum. I was building a business. And because I did those 4 things, now, again, I told you at the very beginning that I did other stuff. Sure, I did. I worked on my mindset. I worked on my self development. That's not what we're talking about here. But these 4 core things, that's what was able to get me out of my job in 9 months, which went by very fast. And then my income increased tremendously, 2.5 times what I was making in my W 2 in 18 months. That's not a long time. Unfortunately, most people are not willing to wait that long. They're not willing to step up into a new business and be like, you know what? This might take 2 or 3 years or longer to really get it to where I want to go, because you're seeing $10,000 in 90 days without having to work, with only needing Wi-Fi or a laptop, cell phone. If you truly think about that, they're like, that doesn't make any sense. Can you make $10,000 in 90 days? 100%. But you better bet your ass that you're not working 2 hours per day. That was what I believed that I could do. And I fell for all of those marketing traps, fell for all of them. Right. And while I could make the money, I needed to work more, and I needed to be around people who could help me. And that's what I did. Like, I put in all of these shortcuts for me. Like, how can I get to this faster, but still have to work? I was working like 10 to 15 hours per week in the beginning, and then I upped it and upped it and upped it. So those are the 4 things. Decide on one business, hire somebody to teach you how to do it, follow their system, and stay the course.